Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Washington where a man is now facing several charges after a domestic-related shooting and assault. 19-year-old Silas Pierce was arrested Tuesday morning by the Washington Police Department. Warrants show Pierce spat on his girlfriend and punched her in the face multiple times while also destroying items of hers, including a TV, furniture, electronics, and other items, totaling over $200 worth of damage. Now, the girlfriend called 911 to report the assault, and court documents show Pierce grabbed her phone and hung up. Court documents also show Pierce had a gun, stated he was going to kill the victim, and fired a round into the room she was in. The Beaufort County man ran away from officers when they arrived to investigate the shooting, according to warrants. Now, he was soon arrested and charged with the following: assault with a deadly weapon, misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, interfering with emergency communications, resisting a public officer, injury to personal property, communicating threats, discharging a firearm within city limits, and discharging a firearm within an enclosure to incite fear. Now, Pierce was taken to the Beaufort County Detention Center under no bond. His first court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday morning. And now we want to turn our attention to the unfortunate passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson. NBC's Craig Thompson has more.
Legendary civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson dying at the age of 84.
I'm human. I am God's child.
After decades in the public eye, watching a country change as much as he did, Jackson, born in 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, was a young protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his life changing when King was gunned down in Memphis. Jackson, literally, there by his side.
It sounded like a stick of dynamite or a large firecracker. And when we turned, all we could see was police coming. Police were coming from the direction of the shot. Had been lined up along the streets.
It fell to Jesse Jackson and a small group of others to help keep the civil rights movement alive. The Baptist preacher known for his stirring speeches.
Repeat this: I am somebody.
Becoming a voice of the people.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Jackson made Chicago his base of operation, starting what became the Rainbow Push Coalition, urging companies and politicians to improve opportunities for minorities. And he had his own political ambitions, launching a bid for president in 1984. The campaign marking the first time a national party had a major African-American contender. But the campaign was derailed when Jackson admitted using an anti-Semitic slur in a private conversation to describe New York City and Jews who live there.
However innocent and unintended, it was insensitive and wrong.
His apology at a New Hampshire synagogue helped him climb out of a deep political hole. He didn't win the nomination, but came closer after another run in 1988.
My right and my privilege to stand here before you has been won in my lifetime by the blood and the sweat of the innocent.
20 years later, a visibly emotional Jackson witnessing America elect its first black president, Barack Obama, a fellow Chicagoan. Over the years, Jackson used his considerable leverage as a statesman here at home to draw headlines around the world, joining the fight to end apartheid in South Africa, winning freedom for Americans held captive overseas, telling Today in 1999 he was always conscious of Dr. King's legacy.
The dream continues and the struggle continues, but every now and then we see flashes of hope. Inclusion leads to growth, and when there is growth, everybody wins.
In later years, Jackson facing multiple health issues, diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2017, hospitalized with COVID in 2021. But he remained involved in politics, leading Get Out the Vote efforts. And in 2024, he was honored at the Democratic National Convention. Applause for a civil rights icon who dedicated his life to keeping hope alive. Craig Melvin, NBC News.
And again, that was Craig Melvin reporting. We now want to turn to your weather forecast. We've got quite a bit of fog out there right now. Does not look like it's going to be burning off until we get a little bit later on in the day. I think around 11 a.m. to noon we'll really start to see more sunshine out there. Could potentially happen over the next hour, but let's take a look at exactly what we've got outside right now. And you can see again on the later frames of that loop that fog is pretty much spread all across eastern North Carolina. Now, as far as what it looks like down at ground level, 36 degrees right now in Greenville, comes with a 36-degree dew point and relatively light winds. Those are the ingredients you need if you want to get fog forming in the east. Dew points within a couple degrees of your air temperatures and light winds. It's that combination of both that again will create an image like this. Now, as we make our way through the next several hours, we will see again a little bit more of a breeze pick up and air temperatures start to rise. Once that happens, the fog will gradually lift. I do want to say good morning to Charvon Ebron. Thank you so much for joining me over on Facebook. Goldsboro right now looks like the fog is slowly starting to lift across central Wayne County. The Pungo River, we can now see the other side of the river, just barely, but we can see it. So again, looking at improving visibility conditions there. Still down to a quarter-mile visibility across Kenansville, Kinston, New Bern, and Washington. At a half-mile visibility right now through Ahoskie, Edenton, Elizabeth City, and Goldsboro. Right now, Greenville sitting at 3/4 of a mile visibility. Rocky Mount at 1. Roanoke Rapids sitting at 1.5 miles. So that is important to note. Whenever you get down below, really 2 or below 1 mile visibility, that's when you really start to run into slowdowns on the roadway. So if you are heading out the door here over the next hour, understand that visibility is rough out there, and make sure you leave enough time to get to your destination safely. Also, leave enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you. That way, again, you'll be able to react in time if those brake lights go on. Current air temperatures reading in the mid to upper 30s at this hour. Going to get into the low 60s later on today. Winds out of the southwest going to be a big reason why we are going to be getting into the low 60s today. Winds are going to play a big factor and a big role in our warm-up this week. Today, southwesterly winds 6 to 12 miles an hour. Not a whole lot there, but on Wednesday, tomorrow, we will start out with a 5 to 10 mile per hour sustained wind, and then in the afternoon, we'll see wind speeds get upwards around 15, 20, possibly up to 25 miles an hour sustained. That pushes gusts up to around 30 to 35 miles an hour. It's going to be a windy day tomorrow, but it will be a warm breeze. It is going to be toasty wind that helps carry our air temperatures into really the low 70s. That's something, again, I know there's more than just a few of you who are going to be excited about. So coming up for this evening, cloud cover again going to be present. We'll see that mid to high level cloud cover take over the skies coming up for tomorrow. But with those strong southwesterly winds, it's really not going to impact our heat gain through the day. 45 degrees at 7 turns to 58 by 10, 68 by noon. Then we are in the low 70s as we head into the afternoon. Again, 71 degrees for your high coming up tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a look at the opportunity for rain that will be approaching the east later on this week. You can see another cold front that it's got the end of it down towards Memphis, Tennessee. That cold front is going to stretch itself out only to kind of form a secondary low on the backside of that system, and that's what will really help push rain showers through eastern North Carolina as we make our way through. More so Thursday afternoon, I would say Friday. That area of low pressure back towards eastern Tennessee, that's where we again are looking at Friday's rain chances coming to fruition. A secondary area of low pressure will form behind that one, and that one will give us another opportunity of rain coming in on Saturday into Sunday. Now with that second system, again, now showing up a little bit earlier in the day on Saturday, it will limit our opportunities for warming. So air temperatures a little bit cooler coming up on Saturday than what we had previously forecasted. Sunday, lingering rain showers along the coast. Air temperatures down, going from the mid to upper 60s on Saturday to the upper 50s on Sunday, mid to upper 40s as we head through Monday and Tuesday of next week. Well, that's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.